Hello students, today we will discuss about the first chapter of class 11, which is living world. Within this living world, the diversity and taxonomy. Okay, from this chapter there are following sub topics are there, which is systematics, binomial nomenclature, taxonomy and so on. So we will discuss about systematics, about binomial nomenclature, about taxonomy from this chapter, which you have already studied in class 9. So you all are well aware of this topic, but for this class we will discuss more elaborately about these topics. So let's start with the systematic. Systematic is a branch of science which was first coined. The term systematic was coined by Carolus Linnaeus in 1751, in the year of 1751. He mentioned about systematic in his two books, which he was written in 1753 and 1758 consecutively. The first book, which was written by Carolus Linnaeus, it is known as Species Plantarum, and the second one is known as Systema Naturae. In these two books, Carolus actually mentioned about the systematics. What is systematic? Systematics are nothing but a branch of science where all the living organism which is present in the world, in our living world, which is being classified, which is being taxonomized in a scientific way or arranged in a scientific way, where various organisms can be grouped into different taxa. Okay, because we know there are immense variety of organisms in our world. For a person, it is not possible to learn all of them, about all of them. So to make them possible, or to make them easier to understand, what scientists had done, they had made different branches. One of them is systematics, where it will deals with another topic which is known as taxonomy and classification, where different organisms based on their morphological and anatomical characteristics will be categorized into different classes, and this divide of different organisms into different classes is known as classification. So to classify different organisms which is present in our living world, we have to first recognize them, we have to first identify them. Now the question is, how will we identify them? First of all, suppose the organisms which is present in our living world, if you take one example of mango, you know, a delicious fruit which is present all over the world. So mango belongs to mango tree or mango plant. Now, how do we recognize mango? By its shape, by its smell, by its color. Okay, so this is how. What is that? These are the morphological and anatomical characteristics of this plant. So by understanding these morphological and anatomical characteristics, we can identify some organism. After identifying, what we have to do? We have to give it a unique name, that is called nomenclature. Now binomial means the name should have two words, that is the first one and the second one. Like we have two names, one is called the name and the next one is called surname. Like my name is Krishnendu Sinha. Krishnendu is the first name, Sinha is the last name. So here also, for the living world organisms, they have two names, which is known as binomial nomenclature. Okay, so now the taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy is a branch of science where the different groups of living organisms are being categorized depending on the taxonomical hierarchy, depending on taxonomical hierarchy. Now what is that taxonomical hierarchy? Nothing but different categories within the taxonomy. Now what are the different categories? The different categories are, the hierarchy of the different categories are, like first of all, kingdom. It is in the highest position. Kingdom. Okay, it is in the highest position. Now under the kingdom, another category will be there which is called phylum. Under phylum there will be class. Under class, sorry, the arrow should be upwards. Class, there will be order. Under order there will be family. Under family there is genus, and under genus, the last one or the lowest, this is called species. So these are the categories of taxa, which is known as taxonomical hierarchy, or it can be also called as linear hierarchy. Okay, so let's talk about binomial nomenclature. Who gave the names of the all organisms? First of all, Linnaeus. Linnaeus talk about the nomenclature in 1751, 1753, 1758. He mentioned about all of these things. Now later on, this concept of Linnaeus are revised by the following institution or the codes. We can call it as codes, like ICBN, one code, ICZN, an international community, ICVN, ICNCP. Now these are the community which reviews the concept, and later on they change some rules to give a name of an organism, which is known as binomial nomenclature. Now let's see what are the full form of these codes. Let's talk about ICBN. ICBN. What is the full form of ICBN? The full form of ICBN is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. Now let's see what is the full form of ICZN. ICZN full form is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Okay, so likewise ICBN, ICVN also have a full form. ICVN have full form. ICVN means International Code of Viral Nomenclature. Next, ICNCP. International Code of Nomenclature for cultivated plants. Why I am writing these codes? Because these codes are often asked in your question paper of your board exam. Now let's see the rules. which was made by these codes or the international communities for binomial nomenclature. First of all, as you know, to give a scientific name, we must have to follow some rules which was coined by international communities like ICBN, ICJN, ICBN, ICNCP. The first rule is that the scientific name, binomial nomenclature, within this binomial nomenclature there is a scientific name, okay, because there is also a common name are there, okay, because mango is an English word. In Bangla it is known as aam, okay. Similarly, in different regions, in different language, there are several different common names of a particular organism. But how we can recognize this organism throughout the world? The only way is to give scientific name. Now, who will give the scientific name? The scientist. Those who are known as taxonomists. So, taxonomists are the scientists which deals with this taxonomy, and they give the binomial nomenclature. Now let's see what are the different rules for binomial nomenclature. First of all, scientific names should be in Latin word. When the name will be written by hand, the two names is needed to be underlined separately. Okay. First name is called genus name. And last name is called species epithet. Okay, so I am erasing the first point so that I can write the next point above here. Okay. Now next point is the first alphabet of genus name should be in capital and species name should be in small word. Okay, now let's take one example, like mango have a scientific name. What is that? Mangifera indica. Now as you can see, Mangifera is the genus name and indica is the species epithet. Now Mangifera's first alphabet M is written in capital, okay, whereas indica I is in small, okay, and according to the rules, genus name and indica species epithet name should be underlined separately. It should not be continued like this. It have to be separated. Okay, the underline should be separated here. Okay, so these are the rules for binomial nomenclature. Okay, which was given by the or reviewed by these international communities. Now let's talk about the taxonomy. All of these things are correlated with each other. Okay, so there are two branches of taxonomy or two types of taxonomy. One is called classical taxonomy, another one is called modern taxonomy. Okay, classical taxonomy was on that days when Aristotle and Theophrastus was there, and till it continued up to Linnaeus. Later on Linnaeus, the modern taxonomy was developed, okay, on the following characteristics which I will discuss on later, and it was developed by Julian Huxley in 1940. Okay, so what are the topic on which the taxonomy is divided? In the classical taxonomy there was few rules, whereas in the modern taxonomy the species are categorized or taxonomized or classified depending on various aspects, like their relation with other organisms, like their origin, like their evolutionary relationship with other organisms. So these are all of the topics that are discussed in this chapter, diversity and taxonomy. Okay, later on we will discuss more elaborately about classification. Classification you have already studied in class 9, a little bit about which I will discuss here, that scientist R.H. Whittaker in 1969 classified our living world into 5 kingdoms. We know that, into 5 kingdoms. Our living world into 5 kingdoms. What are these? The first one is Monera, we know that. Thereafter Protista, then Fungi, then Plantae, and finally Animalia. Okay, so these are the 5 kingdoms under living world. These are the 5. What is that? These all are kingdom under linear hierarchy. Okay, all of these kingdom will further be classified into phylum, thereafter their family, then class, then order, then genus, then species. Each and every kingdom have different species within them. So in the next class we will discuss about Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia in details. So today up to this, okay, I will give some classwork for you guys which you will have to solve. If you were unable, then I will give the answer in the description board. So if you like my video, please like.